All right, guys. Well, listen, this is why I love making this podcast because I love talking about the outdoor industry in general. But sometimes in the show, we're in the weeds with like business decisions and management changes. And we're going to talk a little bit about that later on. But sometimes, like days like today, we just want to talk about dumbass shoes. All right. And a couple of weeks ago, I got an email from some alert listeners that Hoka was releasing what they are calling the Speed Loafer. It's a $185 sneaker loafer combo with a classic leather loafer upper, complete with tassels. Not a penny loafer now. It's a tassel loafer that is built on the chassis of a Hoka Speed Goat 5. And I shared that shoe with my Rock Fight cohorts here, and our industry insider he declared that he thought this was a fake shoe and to posted about it on LinkedIn, like throwing it out there in the world. And as it turns out, as of this recording, January 31st, not fake and very sold out.
I still say it's bullshit. I think it's a communist plot. It's fake news. Yeah.
Just refused
I mean, come
to
on, look at
acknowledge its
shit.
existence.
First, if I give our listeners, if they haven't seen it, 2 seconds to Google Hoka Speed Loafer, you'll see it in all its glory. And like the first time I saw it, it looked exactly like every other outdoor April Fools where they Photoshop whatever some core technology that they have onto something that kind of could maybe but doesn't really make any sense, right? Classic Photoshop April Fool's joke. And then I read the description and it's like, okay, it's got a speed tassel. I'm like, come on, somebody is taking, there's no way it's a speed tassel. I was like, there's no fucking way that this is real.
I think your first mistake was thinking that Deckers and Hoga had the creativity to do this 2 months early before April 1st. And probably, this wouldn't
I
have been an
I
April 1st thing.
Well, first of all, I think probably my first mistake was thinking that anybody in the outdoor industry has a sense of humor. So that was probably my first mistake.
That, yeah.
Because I really thought that they were just trolling New Balance with their loafer, right? Which is what's that one called? The 1904 or something?
Dave, I am curious as our resident like Birkenstock fan and more, regular shoe guy. What do you think of the
Uh,
speed loafer?
I I have come to determine that it is a definitely a hybrid fusion of a loafer and a running shoe. However, it is allergic to bee stings and it has been stung. And it is just swollen up and it looks awkward, and I don't know what to do with it.
If there's a knock on Hoka and their results just came out and they had another record quarter and sales are through the roof, so who am I to say a
Right,
thing?
right.
But if there's a knock on Hoka, is that it's become the old fart shoe, right?
Yeah, sure,
It's big,
sure.
it's comfy, it's great for walking around the mall. I mean, at what point does the fact that it's your mom's walking shoe, and my mom is 85, um, at what point does that become baggage for the brand? And like this is almost like, oh no, we're embracing that shit. I
Yeah.
mean, we're going
Well, and
full
they've done a
full
lot of
low.
really good work because they started off. We've talked about in the pod before about how those original Hokas were functionally a lot of people had interest in them, but were just not great looking pieces of footwear, to put it lightly. And they've done a lot of work to make it much more palatable and make it just a faster looking shoe and something that maybe a younger person would be attracted to. And this is kind of just going fully the other direction, to your point. It does, but you bring up their earrings. Like this is what I wrote on your LinkedIn post. I think it just feels like they have fuck you money. They're like, sure, whatever. Like, whatever we have the golden touch. Whatever we touch right now, just sign us up for another 30% growth next quarter. That's exactly what this feels like.
Do you have fuck you brand equity?
Dave, does anyone have fuck you brand equity?
Oh, yeah, they do. The bigger you get, the more that you have. I mean, look, once you're $1 billion, it's you can screw up a lot, and it still takes a long time to come to the bottom of that. I mean, look at Reebok, for goodness sake. They existed for decades with no real shot of ever growing again, and they just kept going backwards. So I don't know if it falls into, danger zone, but yeah, to your point, they can play around and look like Owen just said, their track record's pretty good with the clown shoe. So, you know, like I said, I think it looks like it was stung by a bee. That might be the next big thing.
Do we need to
Speak.
revise the zombie rules? Like, if you achieve $1 billion, are you forbidden from becoming a zombie? Like, is it?
No, you become a zombie horde, Colin. It's not just a single zombie. At that point, you're a much bigger entity. You roam the countryside. You devour not just individuals, but whole collectives and farms and civilizations go down as you just move until one day you become part of the stable of authentic brands. It's just really, there is a life path to this.
Welcome to the Rat Fight.